This is my presentation. It's on advertising. Let's start it. Alright, here I'm just going to show an example of an ad that you'd be used to seeing today. Alright, I'm sure you've seen this video before, but we're going to watch it anyways. Alright, I'm sure you've seen this video before, but we're gonna watch it anyways. We have had ads for a long time. Pompeii had advertisements on the side of buildings. They showed political slogans and were basically just a billboard. Egyptians used papyrus as well as painted walls, so they just kind of had posters on their side of their buildings. We use ads in pretty much the same way as they do. They are to inform, educate, and persuade us about a certain product that they want us to buy. While it is not a street runner running from a ship to the market to tell us what's in the ship that we need to buy, or a pair of boots hanging off a window, we still pretty much use ads in the same way. This is an ad in Egypt. It went across the whole storefront. Literacy was rampant in the Middle Ages, so ads went to being just pictures and people yelling. It changed with the printing press created in 1448 by the German Johannes Gutenberg, so ads started with words again as people became more literate. Book title pages were first used in the latter part of the 1400s. They basically were used so the publisher could say, this was made here, and if you want the book printed, you should come here too. This is an example of the printing press created by Johannes Gutenberg. It was very much a press where they just put in the letters and symbols, dyed with ink, and pressed it onto a page. The first newspaper ad was for coffee in the Public Advisor on May 26, 1665, with nothing but text. The first picture used in ads was a pointer finger in 1684. The first American paid advertisements were in the Boston Newsletter in 1704. We started off really slow, but we eventually picked up speed in our newspaper ads, as you will soon see. This is the very first picture that was used in newspaper advertisements. It was just used to point out important events and dates. These were the very first paid advertisements that appeared in the Boston Newsletter. Benjamin Franklin begins publishing the Pennsylvania Gazette in Philadelphia, which includes pages of new advertisement. He also printed the first American magazine ads. The first daily newspaper was the Pennsylvania Packet and Daily Newspaper. The daily newspaper changed ads by letting new information get to people almost automatically compared to before. This is a picture of Benjamin Franklin. He was very, very prominent in all sorts of papers and news articles and magazines that all used advertisements. The first American advertising agency was created by Volney B. Palmer. People would give the company an idea for an ad and money, then they would make it and choose where it goes in the newspaper. After this, they sprung up all over the place, which led to 1873 having the first convention of advertising agents in New York, where they started to make standards and important rules. The radio was invented in 1920. It was the first time oral communication was used for ads that could reach people in their homes. In 1922, the first commercial started. Ads were very informative back then, and whole stations were sponsored by companies, or sometimes a company would pay a small fee for a certain amount of airtime, like, for example, $10 for 10 minutes, or as it grew more popular, sometimes $60 for 10 minutes on a popular radio. The first television ad was in 1941. They really started with a bunch of information and not at all like what we are used to being today, but they have slowly evolved to what I showed you earlier. And I will show you the clip of the very first commercial that was for television, and as you can tell, it's not quite what we use today. This is a video of the very first TV commercial.
America runs on Bulova time.
This is a video of the very first TV commercial. The digital age of media has come. There are ads absolutely everywhere. There are websites like Facebook whose entire profit is entirely made up of ads. It is much like the radio, where a company will pay a website like Google to place ads in certain places, or Facebook, so that people will see them, click on them, and hopefully buy their product. So while it's different than what it used to be, it still serves the same purpose as the original ads that we talked about. It's an average internet ad banner that you would see while you were browsing the internet, and while it doesn't come out and say this company here or anything, it is just something to draw your eye, so you would click on it and learn more. The future of ads will always go with the future of technology. If we go into holographic TV, then we'll have ads that go into holograms. We will just follow, however, as far as technology will, because companies want their information to be presented in the best way possible. And if we eventually become time, there will be time ads that are 4D, like one of the earlier presentations showed, where it'll come out and maybe sample your product instead of the food that they had. So it can go absolutely anywhere where technology can. It'll always follow it. We will never really be rid of them. So I'm just going to leave you with this. It's the future of ads, how they're going to go. They might go in a different way eventually, but right now this is where the newest and best ads are.